Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
From the beginning, the main purpose of the Cooperative Extension Service has been to change human behavior by teaching people how to apply the results of scientific research. By utilizing a holistic, multi-level approach, Extension family and community health programs encourage health and well-being for everyone. Addressing values, concerns, and needs with reliable science-based information, Extension programs help people lead healthier lives. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for being here for the Cindy Cochran Show. And the weather this morning, oh my word, here in Spring, Texas, and I don't know if it was where you were, but it was like, it got so dark and the wind picked up that you thought a hurricane was coming through. And so if my hair doesn't look right, that's the reason why.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if it's sticking up. When you stand there in the front of the mirror and you put hairspray on, you're trying to fix your hair, want to keep it a certain way, and you step out the door and it goes, oh, it's done. And then I couldn't get into the parking place, and I was trying to figure out how to get in there, and this guy comes up and he said, "Here, you can use my card to get in." And so I stepped out of the car and my hair went straight up. I must have scared the guy, but it looked like if I stuck my finger in an electric socket and it went straight up. And so I thought, this is going to be fun. And then I was late. I was trying so hard to be early today. I went and got Richard some food so he'd be in a good mood. And so I got up and then I couldn't get in. But you know what? There's no way. I think I could have backed up that ramp and back onto the main road, Richard. Even though I have that video thing, and it shows, okay, now if it's yellow, you're going the right way.
When you texted that, I was like, oh, I would love to be filming her try to figure this one out. Because I didn't really know what to talk. We're in a show, and you clearly don't pay attention I tell you, hey, I'm in a show.
But you're supposed to stop at 53, and so I thought, well, he stopped.
55.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that 53 from. We stop at 53 because you have a sponsor that you refuse to play his spot.
The 2-minute
so I force you to play his spot. Like, you can play it right now, and then we could go to 55.
You can.
It's like, okay. Come on now.
All right, but I can't get used to it because of my age. I'm sure it has something to do with it. The yellow lines when you're backing up and it comes on the screen, and you're trying to go with the screen, and the yellow lines means you're doing good. The red lines saying is a warning, like you're going to run into something. Okay, so, but when you turn it, I don't know which way, like to turn it to make it go back to yellow, to keep it in yellow.
You have a driver's license?
I've got my driver's license, but I don't do.
I don't
really
even
well
use the backup camera.
Backing up, you don't need a backup camera. You don't? Is that like sissy for you?
Well, no. It's what happens if it's broken? You got to learn how to fix park by yourself. I think the only time I ever really use it is if I'm at a grocery store.
Oh.
And it allows me to see further to the left or right just to make sure no one's coming, because you never know in a grocery store. People don't care.
No, they don't. No, they expect you to watch them.
Yeah, especially with my truck, it's silent when it moves. So because it runs off the battery, so you can't hear it.
Oh.
So most people are get freaked out by it, even though their lights are red and
So you got half gas and half
it's a
battery?
hybrid. Yeah.
Yikes! Why would you do that?
Because I get 50 miles to the gallon.
Do you really?
Yeah,
you
I
really
get 40
do?
to 50 miles. Yeah. It's
Oh.
fantastic. Like I
Well-
fill up like maybe once every other week or
Okay, and what are those batteries when they go down? What are you going to do? What do they cost?
From what I understand, the battery should last the length of the car, like 175,000 miles.
No, what?
Yeah, because it's not running off the battery 24/7. It only runs off the battery for the first, like maybe it depends on if you're accelerating or not. Like if you slam on the gas, it goes straight to gas.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So the battery gets you started.
yeah. Like basically, when you start the car, it doesn't turn on the engine. It just uses the battery, and then when you start going forward, it will use the battery until you hit a certain threshold of either demand on power or speed.
Or speed.
Yeah, because you can't go 60 and casually get there through the battery.
Okay.
Like I think when you hit like 10 miles an hour, it's going to switch over no matter what you're doing.
Right.
So,
That was like on that movie Speed
yeah.
when she had to stay at 55, and if she went, it's going to blow it up or something. And I thought, I just said, everybody say your prayers because I'm driving and I can't keep it at keep the speed at certain. That scared me. That was terrifying.
But yeah, I remember one time I went on a long trip with some folks in my truck, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you just do the cruise control?" I'm like, honestly, I don't know how it works. And they're like, "Oh, how do you keep going 75?" I'm like, I just know how much weight to put on the gas pedal. Like, do you guys not know how? Because you know how it takes time to like learn the sensitivity of your vehicle. But after a while, it's like a second nature thing to me.
My second is full out 80, and so whenever I'm going,
Well, I just meant more the
less
pressure
than
you put
80.
on the pedal. Like if I need to stick her at 45, I know how to get to 45 and leave it at 45 without pushing buttons.
You just leave. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Really. Okay.
Well, that's what they got freaked out. Like, really? The whole time? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I don't. But they're like, you drove for like 2.5 hours. I'm like, yeah.
Sam had the weirdest thing.
Keeps me focused on the road because I have to pay attention to how fast I'm going.
Okay. So you're always looking at are you looking at the speedometer or you just know you're
I
driving?
casually check it.
Okay. Sam had the weirdest deal. He uses both his feet to drive. He has his.
That is weird.
That is so strange to me. I go like, that's scary that you're doing. And he goes, no, it's not. That's how I've always driven. And I said, but what if you got confused and hit that's how I think people.
Well, the dangerous part of that, from what I understand, is your foot might get caught underneath and prevent you from hitting the brake or hitting the gas.
Oh, okay. I see.
If that makes sense. Like your left foot
Yeah.
you might slip it when you're trying to hit,
Right.
and then when you try to like correct it, you're hitting your foot.
But I see more and more why older women go right through the
I mean,
window.
that's what happened. It has happened to my dad. Ironically, was he had one of those boots on, like he hurt his ankle or something, and that's how he hit one of the posts at his house. It's like he was trying to hit the brake, but the boot clipped
too
it.
low.
It clipped it, and then when it clipped, it shifted to the right and hit the gas, and it just. And I was like, oh, that sounds like he shouldn't be driving with a boot on. But
Boy, that is the truth. I've worn so many boots. I have like
Well,
three
people-
or four
I-
boots up in my closet.
what always amazes me about drivers is no one really drives defensively.
Well,
And I was like, when I went to driving school, where I don't know if it was I don't remember if it was required. I don't know if my mom just wanted me to do it because they didn't want to teach me how to drive. I have no idea how people do it today. But I remember that was like the thing that stuck with me during that class. Like, you're not driving to get somewhere. You're driving defensively, and then you're going to get somewhere.
that's what Sam would teach all the kids. Get in the car. The first thing he taught them, and they have to repeat it over and over. Everybody's out to get you, and
Yeah.
that's how you. That's just you. You have to know that, and so you don't. You won't get hit or killed.
Well, it's kind of like when I went to Houston this weekend. What I love is the HOV lane. I feel like might cause more accidents than unintentional, like, not intentionally
yeah.
in the Woodlands, because you'll get people going like 90 down it, and then you'll get that one person going 65, and then they have to weave in and out of traffic to get back to the HOV lane because they want to go 90.
Right.
And I'm sitting there in the far left lane going 80, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go 90 for you, dude. Like, I'll move out of the way because I
Yeah.
can see that clearly you want to go 100 miles an hour. I can see you in my rear view, but
But what is the speed limit on the HOV? Is it the same
it's
speed
the,
limit as
it's the same. It's
the same.
65 on all 45, or 45 south all the way. It's 65. I mean,
Then
I go
what's-
70, but
You go 70 on the HOV?
it always. I try to
always.
go. I've tried. Well, number one, you're supposed to follow the flow of traffic. And that's where you get the money when you find a group of like 7 people wanting to go 80.
Yeah.
And you're like, hell yeah, I'm tagging along with these folks.
Yes. Yeah, but you can't be behind them because I'm the
Oh
one
yeah,
that gets caught. That's
you just
like-
gotta read the area.
You got to be inside. Of
I'm
it.
always reading when I'm driving. I'm always
Okay.
thinking like, where can I go? How do I get out of this? And then, yeah. Well, my
Do you
favorite
listen
one.
to music too.
Oh yeah, I jam loud. My favorite one was I was driving to Houston for my mom's birthday, and I'm in the far left lane, and everyone's going like 70. But it's one of those when you hit past the Beltway, there's always kind of like little stop areas, like if there was like an accident earlier or whatever. So there's slow down areas.
Right.
And this guy was riding my butt, and I always keep 2 to 3 cars length between me and the person. If we're going 80 miles an hour, I'm going to have a good enough time to
Richard, you're so
hit my brake.
you're
Well,
so
this dude swerves around me, gets right in front of me, and he's stuck in the same position. I was just like, yeah, I wasn't going slow because
Oh, so he
I'm a
was
slow driver. There's
going
somebody
like,
in front of me, and I just didn't want to ride his butt. So
I hate
I always love that because I was like, this lady's all pissed off at me, like, who is this person driving so slow? And then they just go, woo, woo, oh, now I'm stuck behind this person. I'm like, man, that lady's having a bad day.
when I was having to travel, like 7 hours and then 4 hours in different places, and people on the road, and it's just funny because you kind of guess like what this person's personality is like because the way they're driving, and,
Oh, yeah.
and they're really upset about everything. And then when they of course they shoot you the bird as they're passing by because I've done something that
Yeah.
they
No, I
didn't
definitely
like.
felt the eye glare when the lady passed me. And then when she saw, like, literally only her car has a couple feet to get in front of me because there's a guy pushing his brakes. It's like,
Right.
what did we accomplish here? Like,
What is
yeah.
It's like life. That's how everybody just starts.
But then every
acting.
car I see going 45, I'm like, that must be Cindy. I'm trying to figure out or a Walmart shopper trying to figure it out.
If I'm trying to find something in my purse, I probably slow down. I'll look up and go like, oh shoot, everybody's I try to stay in a pack because you come out of spring, out of one of those neighborhoods, and everybody's going, like they're usually going a little over the speed limit, but the pack, if you get in the pack, then you'll catch every green light. And it's just amazing the way they've got them timed, and everybody knows the deal. And so you just get inside that. I don't even go 99 anymore. I used to go 99 because I thought
Because you had
for
all this
sure
money.
This is faster. What?
Because you have all this money.
I got to tell you, when I got my Easy Tag thing out, and it went like this, and I went, oh my word, how much money I spent going back and forth every single day. And so I started taking. Cindy, my granddaughter said, you need to just go down Rayford because it's faster. It's faster. I said, the 99? It is. Just because the green lights go all the way you can stay with the green lights. And I went, okay. So I started doing that, and she was right. And I have saved a lot of money. But they have sent me letters I owe them money. I didn't know you had to keep a certain amount of money.
Yeah, the way I have it set up is it takes 20. It has 20. I have a $25 credit. Whenever it exceeds, it just charges me another $25 even.
Yeah.
But I rarely use. The only time I ever use it is if I go to Austin. Or
I've got to go by there and see how much I owe them, and I want to see them in person. I don't want to call. It's really hard to get through to them to call.
yeah.
So
Well, it's funny because I remember when I first got my truck, it had the paper plates, and I because I didn't have you can't register that car until you get your actual plates.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's how
so-
it goes through your license plate. So I don't have a license plate, so I was like, oh, I'll just pay it online, and so I paid it every single time, and then like 9 months later, like 9 to 15 months later, after having the truck, I get a lawyer letter saying I owe them this money, and I was like, I paid every single time I used it, like, because I rarely used it. So I go, like, maybe I didn't pay, and I go try to check it, and like, you would think that when I register the car with my new plate, it would carry over or something. But somewhere, like, the $6 got lost, and I'm like, I'm not going to pay this. Technically, it's another car, which is probably the idiotic way of looking at it. But I have no way to pay it. Now I have his lawyer, and I'm like, that kind of says I'm guilty.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's see what happens. Because if you go to my account now, it's, everything's paid up. So I was like, I don't really understand this. Like,
I start because of my forgetfulness. Probably in the middle of each month, I start calling everybody and say, "Now you have my card, right? You have a card that you're billing me, right?
Yeah.
I don't owe you any money, do I?" And I ask them if I owe them money, and it's
they only tell you when they find it. They're like, oh yeah, she does.
yeah, it was. So I've gotten it to most people, but when they say no, we have to do it by check, what's your routing number and all that, and I'm like, oh, forget about it, because I have to.
Like, I remember
mail
having
that
a
in.
strange conversation with my landlord because they like right when we moved in, they changed their system to online only, and they had like a house at the very big front of the neighborhood that you could go. That's usually how I like to do it. I just come by and give it to them, and
Yeah.
so I can kind of mentally know, oh, they have my check, so it's like we're good. But then when the online thing started happening, and they were having problems, and so they started charging everyone late fees accidentally and everything, and I was like, can I just pay for the whole year? And they didn't want it. They didn't want me paying for the whole year. I was like, I'd rather not have this
So worry, trying.
this worry of
Yeah.
you guys not getting my money, and you only open it. They only open the portal to pay like 3 days before it's due. It was strange, and I was like, "Why? I wonder why they do that." Because usually, if you just want to pay, you can pay on like the second of the month for the next month.
Was this a house? This was an
It was like a
apartment?
duplex. It was
duplex.
strange, and it screwed me over a bunch of times. And I was sitting there going like, I'll pay the whole year or the whole lease. Like, I'll pay it.
You know what
And they didn't want that.
brilliant idea I had when I started? I was a assistant manager at a health club,
Yeah.
a racquetball club, and they were building all these apartments around this club, and he wanted us to go. The manager wanted us to go out and stand on the esplanade with signs saying, first month free, and all that stuff. And I was like, that's so awful.
That's a good job.
So I went to him and I said, look, there are all these apartments around here. Why don't we go to them and say we'd like to do a deal with you guys that and you can promote it in your apartment. Say if you're paid up, then you'll get a pass. You can get a pass to go to. You come by here and you'll get a free pass to go to the health club. And they kept thinking, wait, this is too easy. That's way too easy. Something's wrong with this. What is y'all's deal? And I went, no, it's just to get people into the club, and they get a free pass with you. But then eventually they'll want to do their own membership, and that kind of thing, and they'll get a discount if they're coming from your apartments.
Yeah.
So anyway, and it was great. I mean, people started coming, and it got really crowded, and I was so proud of myself for doing this. I couldn't believe that everybody wasn't doing that. I thought, maybe I'll go around and talk to all the different clubs and see, why don't you do this as an incentive to get people into your club, because it worked. So I just thought of that when you were talking about that, and I have a story for everything. So
Yeah. I mean, if it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It's like,
it's true. I was racquetball queen for a while. And did you ever play racquetball?
I played it before,
Yeah,
but it wasn't like a passion of mine.
My word, I went to all the.
I think the only time I really
tournaments.
played is because the tennis courts were taken.
I love that sport. I mean, we played all day,
Well,
but
now it's pickleball. Everyone plays pickleball.
that looks weird.
It's just the same thing. It's just,
No, it's not the same thing as racquetball.
well, it's not the same thing, clearly, but it's just kind of a fad,
Yeah.
and older people can do it.
But you still have to cover all that space in there, and the racquetball court is smaller, so you don't have to
I think
move
it's the
around
same
as much.
size.
Huh?
I think it's the same size.
The same size?
Yeah.
No, It seems like it looks like a tennis court, and this tennis court's larger.
No, it's not as large as a tennis court. That kind of defeats the purpose of it.
Well, see, that's what I thought. I thought it was the same size as a tennis court. But anyway,
Do you know what pickleball is?
yes, I know what pickleball is. I mean, but
Okay,
I
that's
haven't
making sense.
seen anybody play it live.
Yeah.
I've seen it just on TV, and that makes the court look bigger.
Did you watch the Oscars?
No,
No.
that's so boring to me. Oh, because I never get to go see movies anymore, so I don't even know what's out there. And then the ones they pick, I'm like, what? Who is that?
Yeah, they had a lot of movies that were.
Foreign movies.
Well, probably my favorite moment is I forget her name, who won Best Actress, and I don't. It's for the movie The Substance, and Demi Moore was nominated for the movie Substance, but the younger version won, and like that's literally what the whole movie's about.
Oh,
Is she's taking a drug, Demi Moore's character, to be younger. Because she feels like she, deserves more, whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that was
and
about.
so,
Oh.
yeah, and so when she won, I was like, that's really ironic. That's because
really
her
is.
younger version wins, and Demi Moore's never won an Oscar.
That's right.
And so it's like, I wonder how that works out.
Oh, guy.
I thought it was pretty great, and then
And I never see her where, whenever her husband, what's his name?
I don't know who her husband
You know,
is.
who's Demi Moore's husband is
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Yeah,
I don't think they're married. He
Yeah.
passed away, right?
he had real bad
He probably still has it.
Alzheimer.
No, he's still alive.
But he's pretty well.
Aphasia. He has aphasia.
What's that?
That's what he has. I don't know.
Well, anyway, he was kind of going downhill, and his daughter, he's seen with his daughter, but I haven't seen, like, doesn't look like Demi goes over and says, "How you doing?" I didn't get that impression anyway, that she did that. When she did that movie where she was G.I. Joe or
G.I. Jane.
G.I.
Great
Jane.
movie.
Oh my goodness. I thought, and see, and then of course that's what Disney takes all their characters and goes, "We'll show you," and they just start putting women in places and tries to
I
make
like
it look
G.I.
like
Jane.
the
Well, my favorite thing about G.I. Jane, it came out like within a year from Striptease.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right.
that was always funny to me.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a definite culture
Yeah.
shock.
Nothing wrong with G.I. Jane.
No, but I mean no striptease.
Nothing wrong with Striptease.
Okay,
Riveting plot in that one.
you're such
There's
a
corruption, all sorts of things.
You're
in it.
such a liberal. Anything goes, You could go right to San Francisco and just live there, and nobody would think.
I
that
think I
you're
could
any
probably live
different.
anywhere.
No, not anywhere.
And I would just go with the flow,
Yeah. Oh,
like-
you would?
yeah,
Could you
yeah.
become? Could you?
If I was living in with the Taliban, I'd be like, yeah, let's get rid of these women, put them in the house. They can't read. No way.
Please don't teach them to read. Please don't teach them
Yeah.
to make decisions or anything like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that? See, what if that was?
Go to North Korea, same thing.
What if that's was like? What it was like is that then there'd be no divorce, or
Yeah.
you couldn't get it because when I was growing up, you couldn't get a divorce. It was such a,
You mean like where you were living at the time? Well, that's because you grew up very religious, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
at that time, getting a divorce was a real stain on your reputation, and they
Well, that's
thought
when people
something
actually
was wrong.
cared about character.
Yeah.
So now,
Back in the
now it's
day.
just a money-making business. I'm
Yeah.
convinced.
Back in the day, and so when you live long enough that you see the morals change but come back. Now they start to come back, and because the churches were just losing people right and left, and now they're finding they're starting to do some polling where they feel like there's adults
Yeah,
are
but
starting
churches
to,
are so boring to me.
church
Unless
is
it's
still boring to
Yeah,
you?
like I grew up. I mean, I pretty much went to church every 3 days since I was born all the way to graduated college.
It just didn't take with you, huh?
No. Well, it did. After I finished, I was like, I think I'm good for a little bit. Because I've been going every day. I've been going every day from birth till college graduate. I'm like, I'm good.
I know when I was growing up and we had to go Sunday morning class and then the church worship service and then come back that night and then Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And it was.
I remember that's how I got out of going to church, because I was like, I go to church during the week.
But the only thing that bothered me most was that every time.
My dad didn't like that.
Every time that the Wizard of Oz was on, it was on Sunday night, and we had to leave for church right as it went from the black and white to the colored part of it when they got to Oz, and that would always it would bother me, and because couldn't y'all just whenever Wizard of Oz comes on, could we just go in 20 minutes later? Is that okay? I just never knew. And now hardly anybody has the Sunday night service anymore, or Wednesday night service. But it's around, but it's not like prevalent.
Well, I think it depends on the church.
Well,
what they want to do.
And back in the day,
because if I was that preacher guy, I'd be like, do I really have to work all these random hours?
But
then again, they're kind of committing your life to that church.
But the churches, what they would do is they would go in the morning and have the service and all that. Then they go home and eat and take care of the cows and do the farm work, and then they would come back on Sunday night and they'd finish up the service. So the break was that. I thought it was a religious thing. I thought somewhere in the Bible it tells you, from
they can just make it up
10.
as they go.
No.
A lot of times they do.
Well, but the funniest is when they told that when somebody was preaching and it was past midnight and one of the kids fell asleep in the window and fell out of the window. And luckily they were
Say
down.
Again? He fell asleep and he fell through a window.
No, he fell out of the window. This was in the Bible. It says they were having like a meeting and they were having church, and the preacher was preaching and he preached really long, and this kid was sitting in the window and he fell asleep and he fell out of the window. Luckily everybody was there that could bring him back to life. That was worked out good. They didn't need the doctor. They had the apostles there to bring him back to life. But it was...
Oh, I thought you were talking about this happened to you. I was like, that's wild.
No, I love church. I just couldn't wait till my feet... I was tall enough where my feet would be able to sit on the cement of the floor of the church, because I was always having to, when you're little and you just have to rock your feet back and forth. But I thought, man, as soon as my feet can sit on that cement, I'm like, I'm going to be an adult. It's going to be awesome. And so I didn't realize if you're so short, it's still not going to happen to you. You don't care about that though. But anyway,
no, I don't. That's what I love when people ask me because what I love about my friends, I grew up with the same group of friends since like 6th grade, and all of our dynamics changed, throughout the years. We've known each other from 6th grade all the way to today. We all still talk. We went to the same college, went to the same high school.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Good grief.
And so it's always funny. Like now, I think half my friends go to church every Sunday. And every time I try to make plans with them, like, oh, we're going to church. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll leave before that. Like,
and you don't go with them?
No.
Does your mom and dad still go?
Yeah,
and you don't go with them?
They do Bible studies. They do all sorts of stupid stuff.
See, I want to start having a life group at my house. Have you ever been to a life group?
Yeah, they're terrible. All this, I've done everything. You gotta understand. I've done everything.
No, my life groups.
I went on
fun.
all camps. I did everything.
Did you ever go to Bandina camp?
Yeah, you mean like where it's located?
Yeah, it's located near Bandera. But
yeah.
Did you go to Camp Bandina?
I think I did.
That's where all the kids went, and I took them every.
I mean,
year.
I even told my sister this weekend we had a sister brother time, and I told her, I was like, she's wanting to date, get out there and date, and she's like, how are you dating? I'm like, I don't know, I just let life provide for me. I don't really go out and put myself in bad scenarios. And I go, but for you should probably go to church. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I would go to church if I were you. Like,
how old is she?
Oh man, I don't know. maybe 42, 41. I don't know. Too many brothers and sisters.
That's, you know,
But yeah, certain people, they need to go. If they're single in their 40s, go to church, man. You'll be a nice person. Because I also told her, because she has 4 kids, I was like, there's probably going to be a more understanding gentleman at church than there would be at Shanahan's Bar and Grill. So if you want to play the odds game, you play it by going to church. And she's like, well, why don't you go to church? I'm like, I don't want to deal with that ever. Like, I'm good. And that'd be the worst. That'd be the worst luck in the world. You fall in love with a woman, devout churchgoer. I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, how am I going to get around this? And, but I did realize though, I could get around it.
How?
So what I could do is I could become the handyman, volunteer handyman for the church. And I'll just schedule all my hours
During
church.
Oh, that's
so awesome. We still go in the same car. We can do all that stuff. And I could be like, yeah, I heard it through the wall. Yeah, it's in the bathroom fixing this toilet. And I could hear him. Yeah. I'm right there with you.
If they just had those speakers in the bathroom, it'd be great.
Oh, that's creepy.
No,
you ever seen that?
No, wait. I went to those.
Have you ever seen that though?
Were the speakers in the?
Oh
no,
yeah.
But let me tell you where they did have speakers in the bathroom, and it was at a those I can't. It's a museum.
Natural science?
No. This is like a wax museum.
Okay.
And
Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Yes, Ripley's Believe It or Not. So in Dallas. And so we went to that one, and you open the door to the bathroom, and it's all these sounds of flatulence happening.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so that way nobody's embarrassed or anything because it's happening all the time. It's like it's just being played, all different sounds and types of it. And there's nothing that makes me laugh more than to hear when somebody does that. And I'm sitting there and I go in the bathroom and it's so funny to sit there. But I said, this is brilliant because then nobody is embarrassed or anything.
Whatever.
It's never quiet.
I never understood that. I'll just go.
Huh?
I'll just go. I don't care.
You what? You don't care?
Yeah.
Well, guys, maybe not. Maybe I don't care.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to be courteous, but it's another thing to like really put pressure on yourself because you don't want to make a toot noise. It's like, yeah, you're using the restroom. We're in a restroom. But no, two of my favorite bathroom visits I've ever been to was, I want to say it was during the Astros baseball when they were in the World Series, either like 2017 or something like that. And I remember like we were at some bar and everyone was there, like just packed, and they had the game playing in the bathroom. And so you can imagine listening to the play-by-play call with all these dudes listening to every strike, and they're like, yeah, while they're peeing. Or using, like, I was sitting there, I was like, this is wild. And like when they struck him, I was like, we got him. Way to go, Verlander. Yeah, like in the bathroom. And I'm like, wait till we start giving high five, guys.
Put your hands back where they're supposed to be.
But no, my other favorite restaurant I've been to was there's a local place here that has John Wayne everywhere. But what's so weird to me about this is that in the men's restroom, I don't know if they had foundation problems or something, but they only had one toilet, and it was a full toilet, not like a urinal.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it was raised.
For handicap.
No, like it was raised off the ground about, I would say, like 8 inches. So you walk in and there's John Wayne everywhere, and you see this toilet, but just where the toilet is, it's raised 8 inches. Just the little corner of it. And to me, that tells me they had plumbing problems. The only way to fix it, they had to fit a certain pipe, but the certain pipe couldn't fit underground, so they had to raise it and put all the piping stuff. But I was sitting there like, it's just high enough to where, like, if you were under, 5'10", because I'm 5'10", if you're under that, like, you're peeing like on the side of the toilet. Like, I was like, how do you pee into this? Like, how do short people do this? And then I had this thought. I was like, if someone sits on it, your feet are dangling like a kid. But there's John Wayne stuff everywhere, so that's really cool. But yeah, that was great. But
I love it. But
those kind of things fascinate me. Like, there's another, like, if you go to, there's a place here I even met the owner. I met the new owner of the brand because I think it used to be called like something Mountain Pub or something like that. And I wanted to check it out because one of the bands came in here and was on a show. So I was like, I want to go check it out. And I go there, and I was like, oh, I remember this place. This used to be something else. And I go, I wonder if they have those weird bathrooms still. Because in the Ben's bathroom, I don't know if they, like, kind of cut construction or it was like it just wasn't really well planned out. But they had a urinal and then a half wall and then the toilet. And the half wall was just short enough to where, like, if you just went like this, you're looking down at the guy's privates. Like, he's just sitting there like that. And it was so bizarre to me. And I was like, this has to be on purpose. I was like, this used to be like a gay club or something. Like this is wild.
I'm sure they thought that would be private enough. Because, I mean, y'all don't care about going into a stall.
Well, I mean, they still have, even at like at the Woodlands Pavilion and stuff, they have a giant stall or a giant, I don't know what they call them now, giant urinal for everybody.
Oh, is it circular?
Oh, it's like a big long one.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
And you just...
yeah.
I was pulling out of the theater.
Those are the best because now everyone's so like protective of their children. So you have like all these young kids trying to pee around you, and I'm like, I just don't want to be around kids. Like this is the Wild West here with the aiming, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. But
I saw a policeman go up and arrest somebody because they were urinating in the parking lot, and it was so funny. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing because I got to turn my lights on and my lights are going to hit him.
But for some reason, when I try to do that in the parking lot, I always get caught.
You have been caught by somebody?
Oh, yeah. I remember the only like real time I was like, oh, I can do this because no one can drive up this way. This dude drove the wrong way. And literally, like, right when you turn the corner, boom, there I am. I'm like, oh, because it's like, oh, only cars can flow this way, so I can tell when they're coming. So I'm like, we're good, I'm going to go. And the next thing I know, this car literally just, headlights, I'm like, oh, there you go. And then,
can you get arrested? Is that lewd?
That happened in El Salvador.
You can do it outside.
In El Salvador, I was rooming with my buddies, and my buddy and his wife was in the bathroom changing. So I was like, I got to change because I got to go. So I just I opened my door, the sliding door, and it's all this beautiful lake. So no one could really see me, but I forgot that at the very edge of the mountain, there's, I would say about 40 yards. There's like a patio, and there was a wedding going on. I had no idea. So I was just went out there, and I put my clothes on, I look over, and one guy was leaning on the rail, just goes like that. I'm like, but that was really funny.
Oh man. Well, that's what reminds me of the time you were trying to get into the house and the doors were locked, and and you didn't have your pants on.
That was when we went golfing.
Oh.
And for some reason they locked the door. And I didn't have my clothes on, and I was I had a towel I didn't have my clothes on. I forgot what it was because I was just stepping outside real quick to grab something, and the door shut and auto locked, and I was like, oh, great. And my brothers and everyone were 3 houses down who had keys, so I had to walk through this golf course.
Through the golf course?
Yeah, because it was one of those really cool places that all the houses you could rent were on the golf course. So you basically, when you buy rent a room, you get a golf.
Well, so they're all facing the golf course.
Yeah.
And you're walking down the golf course.
Yeah.
Did you have any trepidation about...
No, well, because I was like, well, I'm here. There's no choice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to break the window.
Yeah.
So I just cupped everything and just ran. That was a funny scenario. I was sitting there going what are the odds of that one happening? And I'm like... And then my favorite was my brother and my cousin answered the door, and they're like, dude, Ben, my brother's like, it's only 2:00, Richard, in the afternoon. It's like, why are you naked? And I'm like, it's not what you think. It's not what you think.
It's not what it seems. Okay. You gave me a 2-minute warning.
Yeah, we got to go.
It's okay. Isn't that fun? Wasn't it fun to listen to all the bathroom
I'm telling you, there's because I always when you go to certain places, especially restaurants, I always judge certain areas of it. I'm like, all right, let's see the bathrooms. Let's see the
Definitely.
bar area, and let's see the cook area, how it all works together.
Definitely the bathroom. That's why the
Like, for
Beaver
example,
Place is so popular. the What's the name
All right,
of the
we're
place that has all the bathrooms and everybody
Bye.
goes there?
Buc-ee's.
Just for Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is so popular because it's exactly what women want to go
all right, you don't
into
have a show
in a
for the rest of the week, but you do have a show on
Tuesday.
And make sure to follow the Cindy Cochran Show on Facebook to see who's coming on. If you want to be a guest, reach out to the station. Thank you.
And
Wootton Financial. We'll be back Tuesday.
first responders. we salute.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process of helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran Show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.
Who was once a bull-hooking son of a gun? Now who keeps a pint hid out behind chute number one?